Okay, well, let's talk about the A11 in a bit more detail. Top speed on this scooter is said to be 40 kilometers an hour, and after doing a speed test I did get 43 kilometers an hour, which is pretty acceptable for this. It does have dual disc braking, so if you do a quick brake test, brakes are fine. Of course, I did need to adjust them out of the box, like what you need to do in most cases. The handling is very good from the semi-off-road tyres, which are my absolute favourite. But one thing that has become immediate apparent to me is the fact that the handlebars are very close to my chest. And the deck on this electric scooter is it is wide, but the problem is that the handlebars are actually at a degree, a bit too much coming towards my chest. So you can't really get, I think, kind of good stability there, which is, you know, I'm going to be honest, it's a bit weird because I'm used to upright positions. If the deck was a bit longer, you would have more space to kind of shift your body back. So, you know, that is a little bit disappointing. But if you come on slippery ground like this type of ground here, yeah, the tires are pretty good, I must say. I'm very happy with them. I guess you wouldn't use this electric scooter for off-roading. I think it's more of a commuter scooter, and if you ran across a bit of rough ground like what I'm on now, it should actually do an okay job. We do need to talk about the motor on this. Now, I did reach out to the manufacturer of this electric scooter, and I'm going to display the specs that they said this motor is on the screen. After doing a few hill tests, I honestly don't think, like if you look at a standstill, for example, standstill, zero start, we're kind of at a full charge, we're probably around 70% battery. But from a standstill on a zero start, have a look at the torque. A bit low on the torque end. So I think the spec is, I question the spec that was said to me, to be completely honest. One thing about this electric scooter from a portability standpoint is that it's actually a little bit heavy to lift, and I think that's just the way the scooter is actually designed. The whole frame itself, the suspension at the front, the suspension underneath the electric scooter, the battery itself, it's just a little bit on the heavy side. So just be cautious if you are thinking about buying this, if you live in an apartment, for example, where you don't have a lift. Now, to take a look at the design of the scooter, it's probably one of the newest designs, I guess, I've actually ever seen. This front arm here is actually quite low to the ground, so you need to be careful going off curves and stuff like that, so you don't actually damage that from underneath you. The last thing you want is problems, particularly when it comes to suspension arms, because are you going to be able to get the parts available? I'm not sure, because it's a new electric scooter on the market, so you're definitely just going to have to keep that in mind. Like what I mentioned, I wish the deck was a little bit longer, because the handlebars are at a bit of a slant and they're kind of close to your chest, so you have stability there, but you could do with a bit more stability because it is a bit more of a higher speed electric scooter. Now, on a day like this, it was kind of raining, kind of muddy, and the mud guards on it, I definitely give it a thumbs up. They keep everything off your back, which is brilliant, which is exactly what you want. Unfortunately, there are a few things about this electric scooter that I don't like. One problem that I noticed straight away about this electric scooter is actually this weld here. The handlebars alone are in okay shape, but if you actually look at the close-up shot that I took of the welds here, I question this, and I am worried that this would actually snap from somebody who is a bit more of a rough rider who brought it off-road one day. I'm just looking at it and I'm not happy about it. I think it's a little bit messy, and it could have been actually designed better, because it is a scooter with suspension at the end of the day. So definitely just keep that in mind. Of course, there are the welds on the bottom of the scooter, which are not too bad, but it's mainly this area that I'm questioning, to be completely honest. But the speed is more than acceptable for a scooter like this. Tires are good, brakes are good. Another thing that we need to definitely talk about is the range that they said that this electric scooter was, which was actually a range of up to 60 kilometers. Now that is in perfect conditions. That is definitely not if you were going higher end. So if you're going about, let's say 10, 15 kilometers an hour, you would of course get that type of range. So it's always something to keep in mind. And like what I mentioned, this motor here, it just doesn't, you know, it doesn't seem to have the power it actually should have that was actually stated. It's not the best at all at climbing up hills, and that is kind of questionable. It's a 500 watt motor, and it's meant to go up to 1200 watt peak with 800 watt continuous power. So that rear motor should be giving us a lot more than what I'm actually getting. And I only weigh around 82 kilograms with all my gear on me. And again, when we talk about safety, the brakes on it are good, even though I am going a bit rough, because I really want to test the strength of this stem and suspension, because that is very important. From a safety aspect of the scooter, you have a front LED light, which is actually very good. It has 4 LEDs in there. You have a rear light, you also have side lights. You can change the side light settings if you want. And then you have the cruise control settings. I'll display them all on the screen right now. That was given to me by the manufacturer on how to do that. The column itself on how to fold the electric scooter seems sturdy enough, and the brakes are quite good. Visibility is good, but I wish the stability was a bit more there from the degree of the handlebar area. Another brake test. Suspension wise, on bumpy ground like what I'm on right now, suspension is actually quite good. At first glance it did look a little bit funny, I'm not going to lie. I thought it was a bit of a funny kind of style. But another thing is, you would definitely have to keep an eye on all of the screws and the nuts as well, because of there is a good few there compared to the average scooter. So you would definitely need to check them weekly. You can see the scooter is very vertical and it's very easy to push over. The stand needs to be a little bit shorter, and then you won't have that problem. Huge shout out to Aerlang for sending me this model to review. Okay, bit of a hill here. So we'll do it on, the hill is around 10 degrees only, so the scooter should have no problem. We'll stick it on, I think this is the slowest speed. So let me just do 0 start. Nothing happening there. What is going on there? That's a bit strange. Let me try again. Okay, we'll try this one. Wow, hardly anything. Whoa, scooter's going to come to a standstill. No, that is, let me just go back here. I'll try it on the highest speed. This hill is actually quite small, and it's only 10 degrees, so why is there no power? And I'm trying it on 0 start because it's the best way to test something like this. Okay, so we're on the highest top speed, the highest gear, so let's go. Okay. Oh, good bit of wind. Okay, much better. So for hills, bit slow going up the hill, but for hills, of course, yeah, you'll definitely need the highest gear. I like these type of designs. It has one clamp, so it's not too bad. So we'll test this hill. This hill is only 6 degrees. So let's see if this can go up this hill. So you're on 0 start on a 6-degree hill on gear 3.
0 start on gear 2.
And well, let's talk about the value. Okay, the price is at right now, I think, in my opinion, from the small issues, they are only small issues, but I think the price is at right now is just about squeezing past what it should be. I think it should be around €50, maybe a little bit cheaper. That's because of the issues I've raised. Let's remind you again, the wells at the top here, the degree of the handlebars, and the torque that you get from the rear motor on that. I think it's a tiny bit too expensive. If I do have any discount codes, I will link them below. But let's talk about who is it for. Well, it's for just an A to B commuter scooter. It's definitely not off-road because you will bottom out quite easy on the front arm there, of course, and you may damage the deck underneath, which is quite easy to do. You don't want to be repairing something like that at all. So A to B commuter, you have okay-ish mileage. I think if you are going, of course, the top end speed of the around 40 kilometers an hour, you would probably get about 20, maybe 25 kilometer mileage from that battery in there. And yeah, it is a new company after all, so I'm excited to see where the company go actually. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out on that. They do actually have a more higher powered electric scooter that is just currently unavailable at the moment, and it looks like a really nice off-road electric scooter. So again, I'm going to be keeping an eye out for that one. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and by the way, if you want to look at a really good waterproof electric scooter, a really good IPX7 rated electric scooter, definitely check out my Cute Kieran M3 electric scooter video, which is shown up on screen right now. In the meantime, talk to you in the next video.